Right, y'all, welcome back. Today's Monday, April 28, 2025. It's Monday afternoon. It is a mild 84 degrees, 68% humidity. Where we left off on Saturday, the doors and the shell are in 2 coats of SPI epoxy unreduced. Per their tech sheets, they recommend waiting 48 hours before applying polyester primer over the unreduced epoxy. So here we are, 48 hours later. I'm going to be spraying this FEATHERFiLL G2, Evercoat FEATHERFiLL G2 polyester primer. We're going to get the doors and the shell. We're going to get the doors first. So don't even got to touch them. I haven't touched them. You don't got to sand them. I mean, I guess you could tack rag them if you want, but I'm not going to waste a tack rag on that because they're going to get completely sanded again anyways. So where we left off, there was a little bit of filler work on the bottom. May or may not show up on camera. And then we had a pretty significant size low spot here that may or may not show up on camera. And really, that's the only areas of concern. So we're just going to go ahead and put 2 coats on these doors. On the outsides only. There's no need for polyester primer in the door jamb unless there was repair, but even then there's no need for that. There's no need for any of it on that. I'm thinking about 16 ounces. I usually like to mix a quart at a time, but if I can't do a quart at a time, I can do half a quart and just pour half a tube, because I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time in between coats or in between batches to get these out and get this shell pushed in here, you know, while I have a quart of stuff mixed up cooking already. So with this stuff, you kind of want to pour it in the cup, mixing cup, stir it for maybe a minute or 2, pour it in the gun and get to spraying. Like, you don't want to sit around and wait, especially being right now it's mild, it's 84 degrees. If it was 100, you would really want to pour and pump and dump it real quick because it's going to dry in the gun. I'm going to be using this in Iwata Ergunza 2.0 tip. I'm going to be running it wide open on the fluid, wide open on the fan, and about 25 to 28 psi on the air. Pretty straightforward. So you mix up, comes with a gallon, comes with 4 of these. So 1 of these per quart. So I'm going to be mixing half a quart, 16 ounces, half a tube of hardener, and we'll go from there. The reason I'm thinking 16 ounces is 8 and 8. We're going to give it 2 coats, which would mean 4 per door, but I don't know if that's going to be enough, but we'll see. We'll see what happens after the first coat, and we'll make a judgment decision by then after that. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get these ready to go, get my air hooked up, get to mixing. I'll bring you guys back. Man, right off the jump, stuff is pretty settled on the bottom, so I'm gonna be sitting here stirring for a while. You want to stir it till it's all uniform. You can see it's kind of the consistency of the U-Pole Dolphin Glaze. Once it's stirred up, of course, it's going to be thinner. But that's essentially what this stuff is. It's polyester. It's polyester filler in a very watered down form. And what it's going to do is fill any surface imperfections or any deep scratches, which there shouldn't be. There's only 180. Any imperfections, any ripples or waves, it's going to be taken care of with this stuff right here. I haven't used this stuff in almost 3 years since I painted the 60. So got to kind of relearn it a little bit, but I mean, the main thing is mix it, pour it in the gun, and get it out the gun as quick as possible. You don't want to have it sitting around. So you want to have everything ready to go. You want to have all your parts staged, have your air hose hooked up, ready to go, and you know, you don't want to be sitting around trying to do all that once it's already mixed. You definitely don't want this stuff drying in your gun. It'll ruin your gun pretty quick. So let me continue stirring this. I'll bring you guys back. Looking at the little technical sheet here, it says spray with a 1.7 to a 2.2, and we're going to be using a 2.0, so that's right in the middle. 5 to 10 minutes in between coats. Dry time and all that, we're not concerned with that because it's going to sit for a few weeks. It says 2 to 3 wet coats. So we'll give it 2. We'll give it 2. We're about done here. Consistency's pretty good. It's not as thick as I thought it would be. Remember, there's this is all the activator that you're going to use, so it's not like, you know, the activator or any reducer or anything would thin it out. So pretty much what this is how it's going to go on the car. All right, we're going to pour up 16 ounce. I'm going to pour half a tube, mix it up, throw it in the gun. Bring you guys back after the first coat. Right, that's the first coat. Went on good. Stuff stinks, for sure. For sure, for sure. And that ended up being, we got 9 left, so that was about 8 ounces, so we're good. So 16 ounces will give us 2 coats, which is what we wanted. We're gonna recoat this area first, and the lower bottom, we're gonna recoat that. So that's gonna get 3 coats. That's where we need it. Right, the doors are done. We got the shell in here, and we're gonna go to town on this. Right now he's masking up the moonroof opening. We don't want to get stuff where it don't need to be, mainly on the moonroof tub, if we can avoid it. I think for this, well, probably the same amount that we used whenever we sprayed. 2 quarts, 64.
Did somebody win the giveaway?
Man, somebody guessed it exactly.
64?
They said 64.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, we're gonna mix up a quart at a time. Another important thing here is, in between coats of the doors, I flushed out the gun with lacquer thinner. Definitely want to do that. And then I've already cleaned the gun completely. So you want to have the gun clean. Also, whenever you're done for the day, even though you think this is clean, you don't want to put this on tight. You go screw that on tight, you're not going to be able to get it open. All right, so here we are. That's a wrap. We got the doors in 2 coats, and we got the entire shell in 2 coats. So tech tip, like I say, I don't screw this in until this stuff is cured, because if you screw this down and lock it in, you may not be able to open the cup anymore. I also like to take the gun apart completely, clean it out. It does make a mess. Then I let it sit, then I put it together, because sometimes if you go to screw this in, you don't get it completely clean. Next time you try and take it out, you might have trouble. So the 2.0 tip worked good. And when we sprayed this stuff, we focused on the areas where we had filler work. So firewall, dash, we didn't focus on the sides of the dash. We didn't focus on in here. We didn't focus on down low over there. Drip rails, we taped up. So we focused on the roof rails, the roof. We didn't focus on the door jams. It's just all overspray. There's no need to put this stuff in the door jams. Didn't waste any on the cowl. Trunk gutter just has overspray. Focused in here. We didn't waste any over here. You don't need that. Just the outside. It's dry, feeling good. It's gonna block down. Everything's gonna block down real nice. Rockers. Like I say, nothing in the door jams. We taped up the drip rails, that's why they're black. Drip rails look good. Drip rails look good. It's a lot of work, man. A lot of work on these drip rails. These molded out nice. So now we're just gonna let this stuff sit. Actually, I'm gonna take you next door, show you the doors. Doors, 2 heavy coats. Has kind of like an eggshell sheen to it, but these things are gonna block down really, really nice, man. Pretty excited about it. We didn't focus on anything on the jams, like I said previously. You only wanna put the stuff where you need it. So these things are going to be straight. So overall, to recap, I'm glad we decided to go ahead and polyester primer this car. I feel good about it. We're going to block it down with 220. We're going to guide coat the whole thing. We're going to block it down with 220, and then sand most of it off. Leave it where it needs it. If it doesn't need to be there, we're going to take it off. And we went with black epoxy under it, so we can see when we're getting thin, because you're going to start seeing the black epoxy under it. That's the plan. We're going to let this thing sit a couple weeks. We'll get to work on the hood and the fenders this coming weekend. But we're moving right along, man. It's been quite a journey. Drip rail looks good. Yes, sir. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Stay tuned for more work. And thanks for watching.